kind of...
It's weird.
It has a bit of an echo to the music.
It's supposed to be weird. It's geeky. Right.
We like geeky stuff.
Yeah, we do. Okay, it's 2 o'clock, and welcome to episode number 158 of What Does This Button Do? It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets with us, Geeks on Tour. Today's beginner's lesson is how to choose a phone case, but first, Chris has a quick tip. What do you have there, Chris?
Well, not so much a tip this time, but I have news. I have a new phone. And, you know, it's the way we are. I have to get the top of the line new thing. So it's a Samsung Note 9. And I just want to tell you a couple things about it. First of all, why did we get it? Because I really don't need it. My iPhone 7 Plus is still working just fine. And if I was a normal person, I would have just kept using it. It's really good. And in fact, I've made sure to keep it alive with a Google Voice and a Google Fi service for just $15 a month. So I can still use my iPhone. But because we teach you all and we find that our audience is about 50-50 between iPhone and Android, that I need to have every couple of years, I need to switch back and forth to keep up. So that's why I got it. My Samsung Galaxy S5 is 4 years old. So that's just not.
That's too old.
That is too old. I would be way too behind. So Samsung is still very popular in the Android world, even though I would probably, left to my own devices, get a Pixel 3. Mm-hmm. That's the Google phone. But you have a Pixel.
I do. It's the original Pixel, but it's getting a little old too. I'm kind of waiting for a while before I get a new one. She won't let me get a new one yet.
Your turn next.
Yeah, right.
So I got a Samsung Note 9. It's $1,000 phone, but I got it on the Black Friday deal from Verizon for $400 off. I couldn't resist. So what am I looking forward to in it? I've only had it about a week. So I've just barely started learning it. First, wireless charging, then the S Pen, then the edge shortcuts, the fingerprint on the back, and the camera. Those are just the 5 things I want to touch on. First, wireless charging. That means you just have a little pad.
Where do you want it? I didn't want you to hold it up.
A little pad like this that you set your phone on. And we got this for a Christmas present last year. Your son gave it to us.
Yeah, Devin gave us each one of these. He thought that our phones actually would be able to do the wireless charging, but neither of our phones had that capability.
He couldn't believe that his geeky parents had phones that could not use wireless chargers. So now I can. Now I can use, and it is awfully cool. I haven't plugged this phone in once.
Maybe once.
In the 10 days that I've had it, because you just set it down, and what you see those little lights there? How do I know for sure it's charging? Well, when there's not on there, those lights are kind of a green color. Right. When it's working, it's a blue color, and you get that little ding. So it charges on just by setting it down on this pad. That's what I have beside my bed. And that's how I charge my phone. I like that. Mm-hmm. The second thing, I have always wanted to use the pen. So it's called the S Pen, S for Samsung. And you can take notes with it. But you can do all sorts of stuff. And I haven't played with it at all. In fact, I'm hoping by me telling you this, that it'll push me to use it. I don't use it. It's something that if you have never had, you don't think of it.
I had a Note 3, and one of the reasons that I bought it was for the pen. but I found that I didn't use it either. So it's something that you have to commit to. I'm not a note taker, but you are. So,
I am.
Yeah.
And and you can do it right on the lock screen. If you take the pen out and my screen is still black, I can write. Well, okay. I've been holding on to the pen. I guess it has to be when you first take it out. Now, even though I don't have to unlock it, I can write now. And it has such a smooth feel to it. And then you just say save in notes, and what you wrote is now saved in your note program. Pretty cool.
And you can do that all without unlocking it.
All without unlocking it, cool. Yeah. Or if you do unlock it, it's certainly easy enough. But what I've also found that this little pen is great for a stylus. You know, if you get irritated with trying to tap the screen, or if you're working with a graphics program, you know, I can put text or messages on a photo with this, with the right software. But I can just use it as a stylus too. And I don't know. So I'm going to use it more. I'm going to learn about using the S Pen on this. And it's just always right there, stuck in the phone. The edge shortcuts. Now, this is something I have said, oh, I like this. And that is no matter where I am, I can swipe in from the right edge, and there's the shortcuts to the apps that I use all the time. Swipe once more, and there's my contacts, so I can make a phone call. So these are my speed dials, if you will. And you can have even more, but I find when you have more, it kind of defeats the purpose. You know, I want it to be just one swipe always gets me to my apps. One more swipe gets me to my contacts. Mm-hmm. Next thing that works really well is the fingerprint reader that's on the back. And this is where it takes having another geek in the house. One thing I had gotten so used to with the iPhone 7 is pressing my thumb on the home button. Mm-hmm. And to unlock it, you know, just one touch and it was unlocked. I love that. Now with this phone, I was going a little bit nuts. I was pressing the power button. I was swiping over. I was trying to get it to read my face, which it does, but only if you're in the right light and you're holding it up right. And Jim said, well, did you try just touching the fingerprint reader?
I'm so smart, aren't I? Well, that's because my Pixel phone works that way.
Has the fingerprint in the back.
I just expected it to work that way.
So now I have gotten very accustomed to that. I pick up the phone, I just touch where my finger kind of naturally falls on the back, and it's unlocked. It works with even just a tiny bit of my finger. The fingerprint reader works really nice. And I set that whenever I am offered a setting to use a password or use fingerprint, I use fingerprint. Something that this phone is known for is an excellent camera. Notice it has two lenses, a bigger sensor, all sorts of options. I am very happy to have voice control back. So I can just say, shoot, and it took a picture. I've missed that with the iPhone. But I gotta say, so far, I like the portrait mode and the live photo mode on my iPhone better. But this does have it, whereas the older Samsungs didn't have it. I'm sure I'll just have to get used to it, get used to the way the menu in the camera works. It's I find it a little awkward. All right. So anybody else have a comment on their Samsung Note 9?
Well, I see where Bill says that they've given us permission to you to get the new phone to help teach. I thought that was nice. And
right, because I know Karen has a Note 9, right? We are going to have to compare notes, so to speak.
And Michael says, I have a Pixel phone and I just love the live case and always customize over the photo of my kids and granddaughter.
Oh.
So, yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that's not something we're talking about today.
And Michael says he loves the pen. He has a Pixel book and just loves using the pen as the mouse. I have a Chromebook, and I use it's an HP X2 Chromebook, but it came with a pen, a stylus too, and I find it very useful for editing, photo editing,
drawing stuff. Drawing
just
on
kinda,
photos.
Yeah.
So I have the fancy, expensive Windows. What is this book? Surface book. Surface book. And I paid an extra $100 for the pen on that, and I've lost it.
Oh no.
That's the problem with pens too. And I never did use it, so I'm going to, though. I am going to. Any tips, Michael, or anybody who uses their S Pen?
Karen says to always put the stylus back. Never put it down. Karen, you have a...
That's a good point.
Good point. So, will the pen with the rubber end work on the Pixel? No, those, it's a special tip that it has to have.
They're very special.
Yeah.
But I say, I love the way it feels on this phone. It's really so nice and smooth. So, okay.
Yep. That's it. Where'd it go? Well, Chris, where are we now?
We're home. We're still home through the holidays. We're kind of like snowbirds, and we took my new phone and did a few photography. This was birds or geese, I guess they are, at a local county park. I thought they were pretty photogenic. And then we did give one seminar to a local computer club here.
Communities still have computer clubs that seem to work, and they were a good group. We had a lot of, and they stayed.
Yeah, and we taught them things to do with their camera, or
Right.
things not to do with their camera on their phones.
Always a good idea. Go back. All right, our beginner's lesson today, choosing a case for your phone or tablet.
Not so much of a beginner's lesson, actually, because I just want to make sure that people are aware of things. And I asked for some feedback before this session, and these are the things we got. I just want to point out that a lot of people use OtterBoxes. So that was, 3 out of these 10 comments here were about OtterBoxes, and I never have gotten it out. The OtterBoxes that I've seen are so protective that I think they make it difficult to touch the edges of the screen, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of people really like OtterBoxes. Somebody mentioned the Silk products. It offers protection and stores credit cards, and we will show you one of those. Eddie said he likes to add some bling, so that live case would be showing a photo on the outside of the case. That's pretty cool. And Jay Andrews says she protects her iPhone and holds ID in 2 cards, and she doesn't need to carry a purse. Very true. That's what I've come to.
Right. When we went to Europe last year, I didn't even carry a regular wallet. I just carried my phone case, and it had my license, and it had a couple of cards that I needed, and really I didn't need a wallet. And I find it's easier to keep track of one thing than it is to keep track of 2.
Yeah, we've kind of evolved that way. Just like our phones have gotten bigger and bigger, our cases have gotten bigger and bigger as well.
Yeah.
But that's just us. That might not be you.
Absolutely.
Laura mentions having a Pelican case that's impact resistant and yet still slim, and it hides a magnet that holds her phone in the car for using GPS. And that's something we really like too. So this is what we use in the car or other places. This mounts on the dashboard, and then this is a magnet. And if your phone is metal magnetized, then you can just put it on there.
Now these holders come with pieces of metal, little metal plates, both round and rectangular, so that and some glue that'll go onto your case. Yeah, just like this.
I just put a metal plate on the back of this, and now I can hold on to and we use the iPad for navigation in the car.
Right. So we have a couple of these on our dash in both the car and in the RV. So they're very handy and they're strong, and it's just a pull it right off and it's ready to go.
And Lilia says she needs a case for protecting her phone, and it has a charger. Now, that's something we've never done. We just always carry an extra charger around with us. But you can get cases that have the charger built in. Obviously, that's going to add some weight to the case.
A bit.
But if you need the battery, that's a nice way. And so Peter says that he does like his phone naked. I used to. I really, they do feel nice.
Yeah.
But once you've cracked the screen,
want to break that screen,
you get nervous.
Yeah.
Mark says he chose the Tech 21 for drop protection. I'm not sure what, and it's on a Note 9, and he can wireless charge through the case. And yes, I can wireless charge through my case too, even though it's a bit of a hefty.
Right.
This is a hefty,
pretty thick
case, but it charges, and I will show you that. I just kind of wanted to go over what other people do before we went into the lesson. Richard says he has his phone in a case, and primarily for camera protection. And yes, you'll see when I put my phone into this case, the camera cutout is pretty deep. So that's what he's talking about, that he has the case that has a height, a wall around the camera so that it doesn't get damaged. And he likes the kickstand so that he can, and on mine it goes like that so that I can watch a video on the phone. Okay, so that's what we heard from you all about the kinds of cases. Let me go through a couple of basic informational slides. First, it's important to understand that these cases are very, very, very customized to a phone model. I mean, my iPhone 7 Plus and my Note 9 are within a fraction of a millimeter of the same size, but yet the case doesn't work. The case for one doesn't work for the other. Now, let me actually show you what I mean here with this. So here is my iPhone 7 Plus, and here is the case for my Note 9. Now, the iPhone, if I took it out of its other case, does fit in there. It fits in there.
And we found this out because the case came, we ordered the case and it came before the phone got there.
Right. So I used it for it does fit in there even with the other.
Oh, even a little better, huh?
But look at what happens to the camera.
Not so good.
Can't take a picture with it. So, I mean, I could use it as a case, but I would have to take it out of the case in order to take a picture. And I don't want to do that. So very model specific. The second thing is there is no right kind of case. Everybody's different, as noted from the emails we got. Everybody's different from the kind of case. And there are lots of different kinds of cases. Basic cases mean it's just a protective cover. The flip cases, or I would call those wallet cases. The holsters. Did you ever? I think you did, didn't you?
I did have a holster at one time for, I don't remember which phone, but it was kind of big and bulky, and I had a problem with it. It would pop off of my belt or off. And yeah, I actually kind of, but some people use them quite successfully. I have a good friend who works in construction, and he has to use a good strong
have to have your phone with you and at your hand, ready
anytime. So
all the time. So those holsters are great, and they are very protective. But I am not interested in that kind at all.
No.
And battery charger case, no, I don't need that. Those little sleeves are handy. And then the armbands, nah, that's for runners.
Yeah, that's for
that's
for
not
serious
us.
people. Now the dry bags, those are kind of nice if you go out on the water at all. I use that one when we're out kayaking, and sometimes when we're out diving. But I have a bigger dry box though that I usually put the phone in when I'm out kayaking.
Those little sleeves. If you just want a plain case, but you need to be able to take your driver's license with you or a credit card.
Oh, it's green.
These are, the case is green, so the green screen is making it disappear. But very easy to just stick, and they're like 50 cents or something for these little stick-on pockets.
And you'll see that I saw some that were made out of the silicone, so they were rubbery, plasticky.
So your credit card wouldn't fall out. Mm-hmm. That can be an issue.
It can.
So if you are one that doesn't need your phone to be all and end all for everything you do, and all you need is protection, maybe you'll just get a screen cover. Now, that will easily protect from scratches. If you want it to protect from getting dropped, you need to have the heavier duty screen covers, the tempered glass or something like that, they say. But even then, it might not help.
It depends.
So I have an example here.
All right.
Our old iPhone, which does have the tempered glass cover on it. Let's see if you can see that under here. Yeah, kind of. You can see a little corner there. And I had broken this screen once before, so I had it fixed, and I had them install this super protective cover on it. But look.
Down in the lower left.
Didn't help when the phone fell on its corner. Now, and that is not the cover that is cracked. That is the glass of the phone beneath the cover. So these corners are the most critical. And if I had just used this case, now this is a very inexpensive, just flexible plastic case and easy to put on. But it does give you some cushion at the corners. And if it need to look for how much it rises above the face of the phone too. The higher it rises above the face of the phone, the more protection you're going to have if you drop it on its face.
Right. And that works good if what you drop it on is nice and flat. I had an issue one time. I had a case like this on an older phone, one of my Samsungs, and it dropped onto some gravel, some sharp gravel and
rocks.
Yeah. And it
now, if you had
this tempered glass, probably would have protected that at that time. So, yeah. And Michael says that the tempered glass works well.
Yeah. But then let me show you, I just think this is ingenious. If you really don't want a case, but you want to protect it, you can just get these little bumpers for the corner. And here's a YouTube video that I thought was just cute.
Bouncy, bouncy.
Yeah, so just something on the corners.
When I first saw that, I thought somebody had chewed some gum and put it.
Yeah, now these come in all different. I mean, they come in fancy little skulls and prettier than this, but
yeah, cool.
But interesting. Okay, and then if you really need protection, then you want to get one of those rugged, the OtterBox or Pelican case. Or there's lots of them. I actually think that the wallets are very protective because they have so much covering up. Okay.
They're very protective.
So that's if you just want protection, there's one type of products for you to get. If you want some added functionality, then you're going to look further. I think these little kickstands for holding your phone up are really nice. We had one case that was like that, and when the kickstand was in, it was completely flush with the back of the phone. If you need more battery power, you might want to get one of those cases that has battery. And if you want a card holder, so let's show this little video too. This is one kind of card holder, and this is the Silk brand that a couple of people mentioned. And notice it's just a relatively simple case and flexible. And those flexible ones are pretty easy to get your phone in and out of. But this has a little card holder built in on the back. And I think this is pretty ingenious to talk about two uses for everything.
Slot. So now you got a holder using your own card.
Us RVers like to have more than one purpose for everything. So a credit card is for purchasing stuff and for being
and I like that little cutout at the bottom so you can scooch the card out with your thumb or finger, and instead of having to try and pull on it. Anyway, they didn't show that.
No, yeah, that's what the little notch is there for. And they said that, I mean, this video shows that it will wireless charge even through all those credit cards. That's kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned, I wonder if it would even work with those new metal credit cards.
Right.
I wonder. Don't know.
It's a question.
Okay. Then magnets for car mounts. We mentioned that a little bit, and that brings me to the case that I have really, really liked. And how do you find out about these things? From your friends, of course. So thanks, Alex. I remember seeing her get out her phone, and I said, ooh, tell me about that case. Because first of all, it's a magnet clasp that holds the wallet together. It has space. It has 3 pockets for credit cards on here and a place where you can put some cash. But the cool thing is that it's in 2 pieces, and this is all magnetic. So I can just take the phone out and have it naked, if you will, very easily. It's just magnet. And then, because that's a separate piece.
Right. It's not completely naked.
right. That's one piece of the case, but it is metal inside there somewhere. That's metal, which means that I can put it onto the dashboard when I need it for GPS. Or even just to hold on to it. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's a nice hand holding. I use that on my Chromebook.
Now, after a while, this case became a bit of a problem in that the pockets tended to kind of stretch. So I would sometimes have my credit card fall out. That's not good.
No, and it's real scary when you get to the store and you open it up and your credit cards aren't there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It is. Okay. Which brings us to my last case. Oh, well, show them yours first, because you said you used yours instead of a wallet when we went to Europe. There for a whole month.
Yeah. And this is actually the case that I used. And
you can tell it's getting a little ratty.
Yeah, it's getting a little ratty, but I actually cut my own little finger hole in there so I could push my cards up that way. But the other cards are in there, and it has a place in here for some cash. I don't have any cash, but there's a place for it. And of course, the rest of the stuff is there.
And you can stand it up too.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. It comes. I wasn't ready to do that, but yeah, it goes into this little stand configuration, and that works pretty well.
And you added a metal plate.
I did. I put a metal plate on the case, and that works out just fine. So I can stick it up on the dash. we don't have enough technology on our dash.
Need more.
Yeah, never enough.
So I decided I really like the wallet type. I like being able to leave the house with nothing but my phone. I am dressed.
Most of the time when you go out, I sometimes have to stop her on the.
But I wanted something where my credit cards were a little bit more protected and that I could carry more of them. You know, I could only carry 3 in my other case. So this has a whole extra, you know, the phone goes in here. And this is a flexible case, so it was kind of easy. It's easy to get the phone in there, and obviously the camera and the fingerprint reader are accessible. And then there's a place for 3 credit cards, but I prefer to have them in this second place where they can be covered up. There's a little snap there that keeps that section. And then there's even a little zipper pocket for some change and a magnet clasp and a wrist strap. So this can be everything except my keys. And someday we'll have the car that will start with your phone, right?
Yeah, just having it in proximity.
And talk about protection. I mean, how much more protected can my phone be than to have all that thickness? I've dropped it many times and there's, you know, no harm done there. Now, one thing I did consider though, when I didn't want anything that big and I wanted to hold a couple credit cards, I kind of like this one. We have show you a video for hidden cards, really hiding your credit cards. It's a fairly simple one, but it just snaps open in the back. And if you didn't know it, you wouldn't know it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I almost went for that one. And you know, and isn't that a trip too? Another one where it shows using your credit card to hold up as a kickstand. Pretty weird. This case only cost like under $20. I think it was $15.
That's the thing. A couple of years ago, these cases were like fairly expensive, but now they're just everywhere. You see them in flea markets and wherever you happen to go.
Yeah, I remember paying $65 for this case for my Samsung Galaxy S5. And I haven't seen, and I thought this was so cool. And I don't see anything like it anymore because what it was is it has this little window in it. So certain things would always show through.
Notifications and time typically would be up there.
And it was very slender because it actually replaced the back of the phone. It wasn't an extra cover going over. So that was cool. But I don't see those.
And that was very specific, obviously, to that model.
This phone, yeah. Okay. Last thing is tablets. They have cases too. So if you have an iPad or an Android tablet, let me see. This is the standard just cover made by Apple that comes with it. And you can, use it as a stand. And as I say, I put a metal plate on the back of it so that we could put it on this magnetic mount. And what I've learned, I really like using this just as a way to hold.
Yeah, that's the way I hold. If I'm using my Chromebook in tablet configuration without because it comes off of the keyboard.
I tried this pop socket for a while. These are cute little things, and they stick on, and then they pop out in a way that you can hold on to your device. But the Stick'em
didn't stick them so well.
Nah, at least not for an iPad. It was that was too much for it. But what I really like for my iPad is a keyboard case so that I can use the iPad like a laptop. So this keyboard case, and the first case I bought for my old iPad also was about $100, and this one was under 20. And I actually like it better. It's a Bluetooth keyboard, and then you just stick the iPad in that back, push it in a little bit, and now
it's like a little laptop.
It's a laptop. That is so cool. ARTECH. I'm sure I'll put links in the show notes for
good idea
for some of these things, but mostly it's the idea. I'm sure you can Google and find these things that suit you. We just want to make sure you know that they exist. Okay.
Let's see. I guess we do have a couple of questions here.
Hey, Martin.
Yeah, Martin's down there. Look at that. But Bill says, have you all noticed the apps that replace stereos, speedometers, clocks, etc., that car manufacturers use to up the price of cars? Yeah, they do.
You can probably just use a tablet.
Right. Basically, that's what they are, and the things that are in the backs of airplane seats now. Those are just typically tablets with specific functionality.
Oh, Laverne mentioned the wireless charging, and I did say, right, that even with this case, I am able to put my phone down on a wireless charger, and it works. Okay. I do have to make sure. I have to wiggle it a little bit and just make sure that it's getting it
at the right place.
Yeah.
Okay. Bill wants to know, will the dry bags work for shallow underwater pictures? Yeah, sure.
You haven't done it, though.
No, I would not do that with my phone. But if I had somebody else's phone, I might take it down in there.
Yeah, so you use your GoPro when you go, and it's
That's
meant
right.
to go underwater.
I have a real underwater camera. But yeah, I've even seen people put them in Ziploc bags. The plastic isn't as clear as it should be, but yeah, that's the issue. If you're taking pictures through that plastic, you're going to get distortion. You really need something clear. Real glass. Warren says, no cases for me. I keep my phone in my pants pocket. I have to remember not to put anything else in that pocket. Keys would scratch, and yeah, it could be a problem. But
I did that for years.
That
was my, if I could tell if I had my phone with me because I could feel it in my pocket. And it does bother me now that it's in my purse and I'm not positive I have it with me. So,
okay. Let's get on to it.
All right.
Our app of the week this week is Google Home. And one of the reasons I've been using Google Home is just part of the Google verse. And it makes it real easy to if you have all of the lights and the thermostats and the cameras and the things that you can use with these smart devices, you can get something like this. And it does so many things. If you swipe down from the top, it's hard to see, isn't it? Yeah, anyway, you get some functionality there. Swiping up from the bottom gives you other tools. Just tapping it, you can talk. It doesn't have a camera, and some people prefer that, but you can talk to it. Hey, Google, find my phone.
I found a few phones. The first listed is a SMN 900V. Should I ring it?
Yes.
All right, your phone should be ringing now.
Oh, that's the wrong phone.
Yeah, I was going to say.
All right. Well, so
this is the Google Home Hub.
Right.
This is the latest device that goes along with Google Home. And these are our pictures from Google Photos just automatically showing.
This is so cool. And yeah, Chris we have We have two now. One, one by Chris's bedside and one in the kitchen. And it'll play YouTube videos. It'll play, well, anything that you can cast to your Chromecast will go to one of these. And it just has so much functionality. It has a pretty good speaker too. So you can play music and all sorts of stuff.
So just ask it what your name is.
Hey, Google, what's my name?
Your name is Jim.
Hey, Google, what's my name?
Your name is Chris.
So you can have different voices and it'll recognize different names. The Alexa doesn't do that yet, or well enough.
And this is probably the most useful or favorite command that we've learned so far. Hey, Google, find my phone.
I found a few phones. The first listed is a SMN 960U. Should I ring it?
Yes.
All right, your phone should be ringing now.
There. The one that I asked, the phone is probably ringing out in the RV right now. Oops.
And the photos say, yeah, just what we need. Another set of photos, another way of looking at our photos. But they say that this has the smart technology to read the lighting and the color scheme in the room.
Oh, ambient. Yeah, the ambient
And to
light.
adjust the photos accordingly so that they look as good as possible in the location where this is sitting. That sounds impossible to
The
me.
sensor is up here.
But
If I cover it, the whole thing goes dark.
oh, look at that.
I let go, it lightens back up. And it's pretty bright in here. So,
Oh, that's a great little. And at 11 o'clock at night, the picture goes away and the time fills the whole screen. So even without my glasses, I can look at it in the middle of the night and see what time it is. So this is our other Christmas present. We're not doing anything on Christmas. We've already gotten all our
we're going
presents.
to my sister's and having brunch.
But between my phone and two of these devices, our Christmas is done.
Right. But with the new Google Home app, you can control, organize all that stuff. Lights, cameras, the webcams, even your TV, just from one device. And if you have this handy, you can just go through it, or you can talk to it. Shortcuts for the things you do most are all there on the screen, and you can check up on your home when you're away, or use it remote for your Google Home, your Chromecast, other things. What else did it do that I just found out about? It was...
Well, I like changing the temperature
Right.
with it.
Right. So I can say, hey, Google, lower the temperature.
You got it. Cooling down the upstairs.
Okay. So we have one of those Nest thermostats, and it's upstairs. We only have one thermostat in this house, and it will control it. Hey, Google, set the temperature to 75.
Sure, setting the upstairs to 75 degrees.
And you can turn on the heat, turn on the fan, do different things like that. It's very, very cool.
Yes.
All right. We do invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/geeksontourtv and you'll find us. Subscribe there and click on that little bell so you can get notified when we go live with this stuff. Let's see. You guys keep activating my Google Home every time you say a comment. Yeah, that happened to me this morning. I was playing a video from Martin and my Alexa started playing Christmas carols or something. That's one thing you got to look out for. Well, did you learn something? I did.
This was a little bit just more for fun than...
True or
But,
false?
sure.
You can only use a phone case meant for your exact make and model of phone.
Pretty much true.
Yeah, it's pretty much true, but it's not absolute. But cameras are in different places on all of these things, so they have to have the right cutout. True or false? A phone can charge on a wireless charger through a case.
So far, so good. But, you know, your mileage may vary.
Okay. The minimum way to protect against breakage and a fall is A, raised corners, B, tempered glass cover, C, ruggedized case.
Well, I say that the minimum thing to do is to have protection on the corners, but then the tempered glass cover will also help. And if you really need it, the ruggedized case.
Okay. True or false, with a keyboard case, your iPad can feel like a laptop.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I love my little keyboard case.
And it doesn't have to be an iPad. They have those cases for Androids too. If you want to leave home and take only your phone, use a holster case, B, wallet case, C, it can't be done. You still need your car keys and you should be dressed.
Well, the point here was that wallet case is what I think, and maybe wallet with wrist strap, even better.
Okay, true or false, you better pick the right case because they're much too expensive to buy another one.
False. I mean, I think that used to be the case, but now they're pretty inexpensive. So try a
These
couple.
types of cases, especially the wallet cases, the Otter cases are still pretty expensive. And so are the Pelicans, but that's the price you pay.
And I know some people who have more than one case, and they use one for certain days and another. That would no, not for me.
All right. So, Chris, what's the webpage that lists all of our weekly shows?
Geeksontour.com, and the menu item is weekly class.
And the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters.
Geeksontour.com, the menu item is blogs and news. You'll find our newsletters under there.
And why do people pay us to join Geeks on Tour?
Because they like technology and like to learn, and they know they can ask us questions on our Q&A page on our website if they're a member. They gain access to hundreds of tutorial videos, learning guides, and ebooks, the written notes from these What Does This Button Do shows, and sometimes people join just to say thank you for all the free stuff
we
give.
appreciate that. Cool. So next week, we will probably not be doing a live show. Chris might change her mind.
I've gotten all my Christmas presents except for relaxing.
Yeah, you've been pretty busy. It's true. So we don't have a topic set, but if you have an idea for a topic, we'd love to hear it. Leave your comments here on this YouTube or anywhere where you can find Geeks on Tour.
You can always just subscribe to our newsletter, our free newsletter, and you'll find out when we're doing our shows.
Well, that's it for episode number 158. I'm Jen.
I'm Chris.
And we're Geeks on Tour. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Keep pushing those buttons. The only way you find out what they do.
Don't touch
See
that
what this button does.
Okay.
Let's try this other one.
Not that one.
This is a pretty one. Let's
See
see what
ya.
that does.